Hi, welcome back to Marissa Explains It All, and today I'm going to be showing you swatches and discussion, do a review on the Lorac Nude Necessities palette, and then also, if you stay tuned later in the video, I'll show you how I created this super natural eye look using the palette. So this is what it looks like. It has a gunmetal case, a nice case, except it does get a lot of fingerprints. And then here's what the inside looks like. And I got it at Ulta. So it's just a really nude, I mean, it's called Nude Necessities. It's a very nude, neutral, everyday kind of palette. Now, when I first saw this palette at Ulta, I was like, I don't need it. I totally don't need it. Who needs another neutral palette? Like, I have so many of them. But I have to say that I've been using it consistently since I got it, and I'm really happy with it, and I'll tell you why. Specifically, in my case, and I think a lot of women struggle with this when they're doing their makeup on a daily basis, you are trying to do a natural eye. You just want to run to the store really quick and just want to kind of freshen up your face so that you're presentable, you know, out in public, but then you sit down and you'll sit down with a palette that has nudes mixed in with darker shades, and then you end up looking full glam just to go, you know, to Costco or to the gas station or the bank or something, and that's something that I struggle with pretty much every day. I put a neutral palette in front of me and think, I'm just gonna do a natural look today, and then I end up going full glam, which I love doing, but it's not necessarily what I'm going for every single day. So the reason that I'm really glad that I got this palette was that it prevents me from doing the full glam smoky look when that's not necessarily what I'm going for when I sit down to do my makeup. Now, if you look at the palette, it you know, this shade and that shade are pretty much the darkest shades, and I went ahead and swatched the first two rows on my arm, so I'll go ahead and show them to you. So that's the, if you start from the corner here, that's the white shade, and then so those are the first two rows. So you can see that has a good highlight shade, it has some nice like potential lid shades, and then the rest are all mattes. And for fair girls like me, this is a great, you can barely see it, and that's how you know it's a great blending shade, because it's pretty much the same color as my skin. But for people with darker skin, they have these shades that would be great. So they have a cooler tone brown and then a warmer tone brown. So it covers all the bases as far as skin tones go for a natural look. You're not going to get something really dark and smoky out of this. And I used, as you'll see when I created this look later in the video, I used this shade here in my crease, and it's the darkest shade in the palette, yet it still didn't make me have a super dark smoky eye. So I still was able to maintain a natural look, which is what I was going for. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch the third row for you, since this is on my arm is just the first two rows, and I did want to give you some live swatches. That's what they look like, and then I'll just go ahead and swatch them here on my hand so you can see them. So nice, some nice shimmery shades for the lid, and then some shades, crease shades. So those are my swatches, my overall review of the palette. If this is something you struggle with like me, where you try to do neutral looks, or natural looks I should say, not necessarily neutral only, but natural looks, and they always end up coming out full on glam, then I would highly recommend this palette. But you know, it's not necessary. If you don't struggle with that and you don't need one palette to guide you in that direction, and you could pull colors from all different palettes, or you have one that you really like and that serves that purpose, you don't need this palette. But for me, I'm very glad that I got it, even though it was one that I was a little bit hesitant about just because it is neutrals. So if you want to see how I used it, and I have been using it just to create this super like easy, quick, natural kind of eye look, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay, thanks. All right, so I already finished this eye, and I'm just gonna show you how I got the look on this eye. So I'm going to first dip into this white shade right there on a flat brush, and I'm going to put that under my brow bone. And I already have my primer, and my face is all done and everything. Then I'm going to take my fluffy blender and go into that shade right there. Just blend that into my crease under where I put the white on my brow. Then I'm going to take a bigger flat shader brush, and I'm going to dip into that shimmery, goldish kind of yellow. Put this all over my lid. I'm going to go back into that blender and go into this shade here and put that in my crease. So it's like the darkest shade in the palette. I'm just going to add that to the outer portion and go onto my lid a bit too. It doesn't matter how many times I dip into it or how much I put, it's not such a deep color that it's gonna look crazy and all smoky when I'm going for a natural look, which is something that I love. And on a pencil brush, I'm gonna go into that same brown that I just put in my crease. And I'm just gonna run that along my lower lashes. And then on the flat brush that I put the highlight on, I'm gonna dip back into that white shade and just put that on the inner corner just for like an extra pop, since if I weren't using that shimmery champagne yellowish kind of shade on my lid, then I would use that as a pop, but I want to use something different. And then the last step for this natural look is to curl my lashes and apply mascara, and I'm going to use my CoverGirl the Supersizer mascara. Alright, so there's my finished neutral, natural, everyday kind of look using the Lorac Nude Necessities palette that I just got. So I'm going to zoom out and then I'll show you the lipstick. Obviously, if you're going for a nude look, you don't necessarily want to use a bright lip, but I like to do a very neutral lid and then do a bright lip. So that's what I'm going to do. And since I also just got Firebird from the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani collection, that's what I'm going to put on. And I'm going to line my lips using my NYX pencil in Bloom. And then apply the Firebird lipstick. There's the finished look with the neutral eye and the bright pop of color on my lips. And I already used, did my blush and everything, and I just used my NARS Orgasm blush, and if you're curious. So that's the finished look using the Lorac Nude Necessities palette. If you like my videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you'll see more from me later. Okay, thanks. Bye.